often should you redesign your YouTube channel? We know that as YouTube creators, we are given the option of customizing our forward-facing channel. So when people look us up on YouTube, this is what they find. And we're able to have a main video. We can highlight individual playlists or individual videos. We can kind of customize it to a point. But how often should we be updating and changing these things? Now, some people will set it and forget it. They'll do it once at the beginning of their channel and leave it the entirety of their channel for years and years and years. But does that really serve our purpose? I recommend that you are reassessing and realigning your channel 2 to 3 times per year. And this is because your business, your brand is going to be growing and changing and shifting your focus. And so your focus when you first start your channel is probably going to be very different 2 years, 3 years, 10 years into your brand. And you want to make sure your channel is reflective of what you're doing right now. Even if there's small changes and small redirections, you want to have that forward on your channel. You want that to be at the top of what people are going to notice and what they're going to understand about who you are and what you have to offer them. So reassessing your business 2 to 3 years is incredibly important to make sure that you didn't start off in one place and then pivot a little bit to go with what was working really well for you. And then you just kind of forgot that you had an original purpose that's a little bit different now. So I want you, as you're reassessing your business and realigning what you're doing, to go into your channel and see how you can tweak it to make it more serving of the business that you're operating right now, not the business you were operating 6 months ago. So what does this mean? Well, this means you have the opportunity to go in and maybe change the order of some of your playlists, maybe change the order that some videos are presented in your playlists. Sometimes we have playlists that are in chronological order, part 1, part 2, part 3, it builds upon each other, and those don't change. But there are some playlists that you are going to have for topics, but those topics aren't necessarily in an order, so you can reposition things to make more sense for what needs to be forward-facing to your audience. What is the most important things or the most relevant for right now? What's the most time-sensitive to have at the top of those playlists as opposed to lower on the playlist because you added them later on? So 2 to 3 times a year, I want you to take a little bit of time and go into your channel and view it as a viewer. What does a viewer see when they come to look at your channel? You're going to see that top video. Does that top video still align with your purpose and your direction in your business? Is that video going to be the one that is driving you the most business, or is educating your audience the best for what you're teaching right now? And we know with those videos, you have one that is for people who do not follow you and one for people who are subscribers. Those videos can be different. Those don't have to be the same. So you have to go in and you have to look at both of these. Does this make sense for my existing audience? Is this what's most relevant to them right now? For me, I teach social media marketing. And so some of my top performing videos might be older videos and might not be as relevant as some of the newer techniques or the newer algorithm changes or platform additions that I could be housing as that initial video. Might my views be lower on that? Yes, of course. But if it serves my audience better, that's what I need to be forward facing for them. If I taught something really, really amazing, but that's an old feature or functionality, it's not going to serve new subscribers who are showing up, who are on target with what's happening in social media, right? So I want to make sure I'm giving relevant content for my main videos. Then I need to jump down to my playlist, and you do as well. And you need to see what is going to be the most relevant. What is going to give them the most actionable steps? What is going to give them the most education? Your job here is not to say these videos have the most views or these videos have served the most people. Your job is to say, if you are brand new here, these are the reasons you need to stay. These are the things that you might not have already known. These are the things that are going to be most practical and relevant to your life right now. Yes, you may want to show off your high-performing videos, and you can do that. You can have a best of playlist and name it something probably a little bit better than the best of, and you are going to have that maybe 2 or 3 tiers down on the playlist that you're posting on your videos. Have them there, show off your numbers. By all means, you want the credibility, but your top things need to be what's going to secure people to hit that subscribe button. So this is designed to get people aware of who you are, how you're going to benefit them, how you're going to serve them, and why they need to hit that subscribe button on your channel. After that, then you can do whatever you need. Relevant content, content that gives you credibility, whatever you want. But you have to kind of go through and reassess, and you have to take a very critical look at what you're doing. Because just because you're doing all the things at once doesn't mean that's the most relevant to your audience. So 2 to 3 times a year, I want you to go to your channel, look at it as a viewer, and think, is this, if I were not going to be somebody who was already aware of me as a person, is this going to make them subscribe? Is this going to make them take actionable steps? Is this going to help and benefit people in some way? And if it's not, it needs to go lower on the list, and you need to bring higher, more relevant content to the front. You may need to add in new playlists. Sometimes you will start to find themes and overarching trends in your content, which you can create new effective playlists for and put them into your main fronting or your front-facing channel. You may want to reevaluate what's inside of your playlist, take things out, add things in, reposition the videos. Your videos in your playlist, again, we talked about this at the beginning, need to be the most relevant and thoughtful for your audience. And sometimes that means changing the positions if it's not something that builds upon each other. And so you want to go in and you want to reassess everything. You also want to look at your channel art. You want to look at your bio photo. You want to look at your biography. You want to know what your links are, where they're going. You may have a freebie that you give away in your links that is no longer the main freebie you talk about, and you need to swap that out. So critically go into your channel and look at it 2 to 3 times per year and see where you can switch things up. I would not do this on a monthly basis just because that's going to take a lot of time and effort. And for the most part, your business is not shifting dramatically enough month to month to month to have to change it month to month to month. So 2 to 3 times a year, 4 times max, do it quarterly at most to change it, to make sure things are most relevant, because that provides the stability and the things that people have come to know from your channel, but also updated versions of it throughout the course of the year. So you don't want it to look different every time somebody shows up. You do want it to look refreshed a couple of times a year just to make sure it is the most relevant as people come to see what you're doing. And because your content is going to be changing and flowing in the playlist, especially if you have one of the playlists as your uploads, it will have new content every time they show up in that specific playlist. They're going to see the relevant, most frequent or most updated videos because those will be at the top of that uploads playlist. Keep that toward the top of your channel. If you want to talk more about how to redesign your channel to be the most effective, go ahead and let us know down below. We've talked about your bio photos and your biography and your playlists and what you should have for your channel art and all those things. We've talked about that here on the channel. We've got lots of videos and lots of help in our YouTube playlist. But if you have specific questions, we can always do updated content for you. We can do deep dives for you, and we can answer those questions that you've got right now to make sure that your channel is as successful and profitable as possible in our daily videos here on our YouTube channel, helping you navigate the world of your social media marketing to make sure that this is your most profitable year with the least amount of stress and overwhelm. So we'll see you in the upcoming episodes.